We are now ready for step number 6 in the Excel Grader Project 1. In step 6, we will enter a formula to divide the total sales for Assgn by the overall total sales. When entering a formula, the first decision is, where do we store the formula? In this assignment, we would like to store the formula to calculate the percent of total sales in cell G4. So move up and select cell G4. All formulas and functions begin with the equal symbol, so let's type the equal symbol. The next is to select the address. In this example, it is cell F4, the total sales for Assgn. You can either type that or you can move over and use point and click. I like to use point and click. So I'm going to move my cursor over to cell F4 and click to select cell F4. We are using the division for this formula, so the next thing we need to do is to press the forward slash. The forward slash is the slash that's on the question mark, and you can tell that it is leaning forward. And we are going to divide by the total sales, so I'm going to move my cursor down to cell F8 and select cell F8. We would like to change the address for F8 to be an absolute type of an address. With an absolute address, when we copy it vertically, the row numbers will not change. And that's exactly what we would like to do. In order to do that, what we need to do is to insert a $sign in front of the column letter and in front of the row number. You can either type them or you can make the computer do the work for you. If you press the F4 function key, the $sign will be inserted in front of the column letter and the row number. What this is doing is that it is anchoring that address. So when we take and copy that address vertically, will always remain on row 8, which is exactly what we'd like for it to do. The $sign in front of the column letter will anchor it on the column. If you are copying horizontally, then it would always refer to column F. The F4 address is a relative address, and in relative address, when you copy it vertically, the row numbers will change, and that's exactly what we want it to do. For example, row 4 refers to the total sales, total percent of sales for Assgn. Row 5 refers to Houston, row 6 to Dallas, and row 7 to online. So we want that first address, the F4, to change the row numbers as we move down. But the overall total, each individual category is divided by the total sales, and that is stored in cell F8. Before we can copy a formula, we have to enter that formula into the cell. We can either do that by pressing the Enter key or by pressing the check mark on the formula bar. What the check mark on the formula bar will do is that it will enter the value into the cell, and cell G4 will remain selected, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to move over to the formula bar and click on the check mark. So now I'm ready to copy my formula down, and we're going to copy that down through row 7. So move over, select the fill handle in the bottom right hand corner of the cell and drag it down through row 7. We have now completed step number 6.